Oh, hello, Will here. How's everyone doing? I wanted to make a quick little video of what I like and I do not like about the Unjust update. So, this update overall has been a pretty big banger. I quite enjoy it, but there is a couple of things that I would like to be changed, and I don't really think my opinion matters all that much, but I just thought I would vent my frustration a little bit. Um, yeah, so I don't have a script or anything. I'm just gonna talk to the fucking void and see how it goes. Alright, so I wrote a little list down here of things I wanted to kind of yap about for a bit. So first off, cave systems. I am a very big fan of the cave systems. I think the cave systems are beautiful. I think they're very well made. They look nice. There's a lot of like cool little extra like pieces of content in there that you can like find. Like that new like mobile radar. The like dead like thief troopers that are like scattered around in like little secret cubby holes and such. It's really fun to like explore. You feel like you're playing like Deep Rock Galactic and you're like a cave diver. But yeah, overall the cave systems just as a concept and a whole, awesome, peak, great. There are a couple of things that I do not like about them that I'll get into whenever I get to the things that I dislike. Up next we have the new enemies. So here I wrote down the Chargers, the Dragon, the Hive Lord, and the Spewer. Specifically the subterranean species. So for the Charger, I think all of the enemies are pretty cool for one specific reason, and it makes it to where you don't just like default to using like turrets or some shit, you know? They actually are like really good at getting around those and like taking them out very quickly. Like turret stratagems are like one of the worst stratagems on that level, unironically. Like, but yeah, I like the design of the Charger. I like how their like armor on the front is a little bit more heavy than the normal Charger, but you could still kill it with like one recoil to the headset. Makes it very. The Dragon. So I like the Dragon. I like the Dragon a lot. I love like how like big it is. I love how scary it is. I love like how it looks. It's just such a cool fucking enemy. It's so awesome. It's genuinely like the second coolest thing they've added in that update. Besides Hive Lord, in my opinion. Speaking of the Hive Lord is like, I gotta give it its like own little section. I'm sorry, I'll come back to it in a second. So next up is the Spewer. I really like the bouncing of the Spewer, unironically. So Spewer is slow as fuck when it's underground compared to like, you know, like the Warrior and such or the Charger. But whenever it comes out of the ground, it does have the normal spew attack. But the thing I like about it more is the actual like little projectiles that it launches, like the little lobs of spit that it does. It's not like the normal spewers from like the other planets where they like have the giant mortars. Those are absolutely obnoxious. These ones don't do as much damage. They slow you down a little bit, sure, but they are not nearly as like impactful as like the mortar ones that come down during like normal missions. Those are an absolute nightmare, and I much prefer these ones. So yeah, talking about the Hive Lord again. I don't even know how the fuck they made that thing. Like, that is such a just marvel of creation that they've done. Like, it is so massive. It is so awesome. And it's not like so big and annoying. Like, it does one-shot you, don't get me wrong. If it hits you like directly, it does one-shot you. But a lot of its tells are like very like forthcoming, and you have enough time to get out of the way if you actually like, you know like what you're doing and like path properly. It creates these like awesome moments where you're just like, oh my god, oh my god. What else? Like, their engine that they use, the Stingray engine, is so fucking old. I don't even know how they got that thing in there. Like, it kind of baffles me. And for it to like be as good as it is usually, I've seen a couple of bugs with it, but like for the most part, it's pretty good. Like, it's kind of insane how like good they made that Hive Lord. Alright, so moving on, the new missions. I am a big fan of the new missions. I think they're all extremely fun. I think one is a little bit like, I wouldn't say boring, but just like a little like normal, if that makes sense. So the Spore Lung, I am a big fan of. I love carrying a fucking backpack, Hellbomb, and then like running down there and like fucking taking out like a massive nest with it. It's very satisfying. Like fighting through like the short corridors to get to your objective is very fun. I like it very much. The turn on the oil or whatever, like where you shoot the little things on like the walls or in like or the ground, the little like sacks of goo, sacks. And then you turn that lever. I think that one's kind of it's all right. It's a little like normal, I would say, but I think it's still like a fun like over in like the normal area mission. It doesn't force you to like go down or what. I mean, later in the mission you do have to go down or you know, kill bugs and such like that, but the actual like objective of turning the pipes is actually like all right. You could speedrun it pretty well as well. One of the quickest objectives you can do. Okay, so that's the stuff that I could just think about off the top of my head. There's probably some other shit that I do like that I can't right now, but in total, that is the stuff that I like. So things that I dislike, and I think that these, at least this one, should be like changed like as soon as possible. The hell pods interacting with the caves and not falling in correctly to like the place that you call them in at. I think this needs to be like immediately looked into. Compared to like literally anything else besides like crashes, of course, and like things that make the game quite literally unplayable. So yeah, the amount of times that I have thrown like any stratagem on the ground and they just don't go where they're supposed to. They fly off to fucking Narnia or some other place, or they land on the ceiling and you can't get to them. Like, this is a massive problem and it's super frustrating to deal with. Like, for me, it's not that big of a deal because I've already kind of like mapped where you should put your stratagems to avoid those type of scenarios and such. But on average, it's still annoying. Like, it's still very annoying. I think as a side note as well, the amount of times I've called in like a mech in a totally separate location, and then I call a stratagem in another totally separate location, and then they somehow end on like the exact same point, and then my mech just gets instantly destroyed. It's yeah. It's very fun. The next up, I think the warrior underground enemies. So whenever I was making this list, this was like the first like couple hours of the update, and I wasn't really like, you know, thinking about it too much. In retrospect, I thought about it a little bit more, and I still think I don't like them as much. So the warrior underground enemies are the ones that have like the medium like armor on their front. They're very easy to kill, but the problem is they go underground and they jump out extremely quickly to attack you. And 90% of the time, they're going to hit you in the chest, which results in you're going to bleed. And it's like, sure, you could just run like the, what's it called? The armor that makes it to where you don't bleed from the... But even then, I still just don't really like them. But however, I have found a couple counters to them. Obviously, you can use the shield backpack and like take a couple hits, which is always good. But you can also use like anything that has the explosive trait on them. That includes like, you know, obviously the eruptor, obviously the crossbow, you know, autocannon, anything like that. But that also works for the Scorcher, Purifier, and the Loyalist pistol, which I think is like one of the best pistols to run in that cave. Because like, not only does it make the warriors come out of the ground, it makes the spewers, and it even makes the fucking chargers come out of the ground as well. Very, very, very useful. I had some moments where I was carrying the Quasar cannon, and I would just shoot the Loyalist at the ground like one time, make the charger come up, and then bang, shoot him right in the head. On to my last thing that I think needs to be changed. The truck mission. I think the truck mission needs to be changed really badly. So, the fact that it can be destroyed is very, very obtuse design, in my honest opinion. I do not like that. I do not think that that truck should be able to be destroyed for how slow it is and how like chaotic Helldivers 2 as a game is. There's so much shit that it can accidentally like happen. It's not like, for example, the you know, the defense mission where you defend the missiles that go up and such, and they have the 2 generators. 90% of the action is away from there. Like, sure, you can very easily destroy those generators with like one eagle strike, but the thing doesn't ever like have to worry about that because all the action that happens is like completely far away from it. And if you do fail, then it's kind of on you for not holding the line. So a couple changes I think that would help fix this issue is one, the turret should either A, have a slower rate of fire, but have unlimited ammo, or unlimited ammo and like way less damage, because that autocannon is extremely powerful, by the way. Another thing, because like we gotta remember, it's supposed to be fun anyway. Another thing I would add is make the truck invulnerable. Make it to where it cannot blow up randomly, and then just explode and you lose the mission and you just waste your fucking time. Here's what I think they should do instead. So if you know the Nuke Nursery objective, where it has the little thing that you call down, the bugs like swarm it and hit it and disable it. That's what it should be. It should make it to where the truck stops moving. You know, you can't crank it. It's, you know, it's stuck in the water. And you have to like get out and like kill the bugs around it. And then it'll start back up after like, what, like 5-10 seconds of not taking damage. And then you can go. And you might say like, oh, that would make the game like really boring because I would just keep having to get in and out, in and out, in and out. Here's the thing though. If you're already just like, you know, playing with your team and clearing shit out around the truck, you won't have to deal with that. And if shit does go badly, you can throw a fucking nuke right next to the truck and it would be fine because the truck would have unlimited HP technically. But they'd just be disabled once it takes too much damage, you know? Hey there, Editing Michelle here. I just wanted to talk real quick about making that truck invulnerable. I proposed that change because I don't think that I'm personally gonna like struggle with making the truck alive. Hell, even on stream, I was able to carry like a full group of 3 people that didn't know how to actually play that mission. And we just totally did it fine. Because I played really well and used like my brain and such. The problem is that a lot of players that play this game, and I know you understand me whenever I say this, a lot of people in random lobbies just factually are not that good at Helldivers, alright? The amount of times they do the most insane, stupid shit I've ever seen in my life is quite baffling, and I wonder how they even turn on their fucking console or PC in the morning. Anyway, jokes aside though, like, I feel like making that mission just a little bit easier for the objective, and then making the actual challenge that, like, bug breaches spawn and, like, swarm the truck, and then you have to clear out the swarms before you move the truck, is a much better option, because whenever you activate the objective for the truck, bug breaches don't spawn like the geological surveys. So yeah, anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Carry on. But other than that, I think the controls of the truck are fine. Maybe it could use with a little bit of a speed increase, but like, I think that's like kind of the balancing of it. They want it to be pretty slow, which is perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. It handles most terrain pretty well. I haven't really been able to get it stuck yet. But yeah, that is my thoughts on the Into the Unjust update. I have been having 90% fun with it. A couple crashes here and there, and obviously, like I said, the things that I dislike. 90% of it is kind of just like, it's whatever. It's just kind of like my opinion. But I do think the hell pod thing needs to be like immediately addressed. That is like gonna like kill these missions and no one's gonna want to play them because of it. Like, but yeah, other than that, massive W on Arrowhead. If you're seeing this whenever it comes out, I'm probably live testing out the new Warbond stuff. So yeah.